Good morning. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining. So today's message, and I actually have two messages I'm going to share with you because this message is one I channeled back in August that I ended up getting a second message, and then I never got back around to sharing this message, but I should have known that they never say anything that isn't purposeful. So this message, they came back around and they gave us the rest of the details in today's message. And this is an important one because it is about the idea that we may be losing our connection for a little while. And they explain all about it. So, and I know this is going to be super important for especially for this community because you guys are the ones who are tuning in. So you're saying good morning. It's so good to see you guys. Hi, and thank you. Happy birthday from my daughter. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and dig right in because I do have the two to share. So this is going to be a slightly longer live than usual, and I haven't actually reread this old message in a while. So forgive me if I stumble over it a little bit, but let's go ahead and dig in. So they start out by saying, and this one is basically saying this message is about how the angels had to change themselves in order to. It's not like they're behind the veil, but they did have to go through something in order to be here on Earth in the third dimension with us, that their energy has to change as well. So they're saying, we're here, you say, you are finding our reverence, completing yourself. You say you wish to begin. Okay, sorry, I usually cut that out. That's how they speak to me when we first get started. They go on to say, okay, how we're displaying, you say you wish to begin how we're displaying ourselves, to have our enlightened perspective, to lift up as high as we are, to continue onward with your journey. You are intrepid sailors, no less than we are. However, we are lifted already in his power. You are yet beginning your ascendance. Time is all that matters where you are. Time passes and signifies your movement forward. Where we are, no such time movement enfolds our being. We are lifted by how we conform to being him, which they use him because I speak of God usually in the masculine, and so they're using my word, but please substitute the word that you prefer to use, or the gender or non-gender that you prefer to use. So we are lifted now by how we conform to him, to how we raise ourselves up into the light. This is all we measure. How are we reflective of himself? How are we bringing that light into the world? Are we light enough to bend reality towards ourselves, to lighten the passage of what goes on below? And that's a beautiful paragraph. I'm just going to reread part of that again so you can let that one soak in, because it is an amazing concept, this idea that we measure moments by time and they measure it only based on how much they are in conforming to the light of source energy. So it's a totally different perspective and a beautiful perspective. So they say, you are yet beginning your ascendance. Time is all that matters where you are. Time passes and signifies your movement forward. Where we are, no such movement enfolds our being. We are lifted by how we conform to him, to how we raise ourselves up into the light. This is all we measure. How are we reflective of himself? How are we bringing that light into the world? Are we light enough to bend reality towards ourselves, to lighten the passage of what goes on below? All right, so I love that. Anyways, going on, they say, and good morning for those of you who are just joining. It's great to see you. They go on to say, we are known to yourselves as angels, as angelic beings, as ones whose time is now deciding where we are, what to transplant from how we're seeing to what we observe, this station of readiness. We do not understand through time as you are now enthralled. We do, however, experience progress forward, movement, development, and change. You are there marching onward in the scope of time as you are carried forward by it toward another yet unfolding reality. We are self-saying unless how we ascend does change. We vibrate from within the reality of who we are. We hold, contain the message in total, and express it how we feel it to be known. So it's really saying that it's complex and simple at the same time. So in terms of how we measure ourselves, and they're talking about how we do, however, experience progress forward. So they do experience, even though they don't have time, they experience this sensation of change. So which is hard to, how we think of change as being something that time just brings change. Like it's just a natural function of time. So for us, change and time seem to be really interwoven, right? That time, that almost like change is a function of time, right? But for them, they don't have time, but they still experience change. But that change is measured, as they're saying, as progress forward. That say you are marching onward in the scope of time as you are carried forward by it toward yet another yet unfolding reality. So we have this feeling of change as something that just, it's like time marches on, right? That's that feeling that we have about time and change. They're saying we are self-saying, unless how we ascend does change. So they said they're kind of timeless, that they're the same unless how they're ascending changes. We vibrate from within the reality of who we are. So everything from them, rather than us where we're in an external experience of ourselves, for them it's everything is inside. We vibrate from within the reality of who we are. We hold, contain the message in total, and express it how we feel it to be known. They go on to say, we are now rising with your own. We are becoming future feeling, aspiring to more of what we are as well. And this is the part I'm talking about, where they're saying, okay, we are going through our own ascendance, and the angels are here on the planet with us, and they're tied to us. And so as we go up, they are here on 3D. They are being able to go through the experience of going up as well. And for them, it's not a ascendance, it's a shift in vibration, because they've already ascended, right? But they've had to lower their vibration. Now they're getting to raise their vibration. So they say, we are now rising with your own. We are becoming future feeling, aspiring to more of what we are as well. We undermined ourselves by playing in this sojourn of your reality. We called ourselves downward, backward into what has been, and must elevate, rise ourselves into what will be practiced going forward from here, from this place of ascension, this now unfolding reality. So this is the money phrase here about, really, this is what's going on, is that they had to condense themselves in order to be here with us. And now we are leaving this place. So it's, for them, it's like, woohoo, they finally get to feel a little lighter. But it is a shift. It's a change for them. They say, we believe you are arriving imminently. We perceive you are here already. You are held by ourselves as you transmit toward this objective. Forward thinking we are, however, disciplined in how we must envoy toward another reality. How we're to have ourselves anew, to grow as you are, our brethren, to become more of how that. Sorry, I didn't edit this one very well. I have a lot of typos, and I have to, it's hard to read through. I just kind of dictated, and this is kind of freshly dictated without me fixing the typos. More of how we've been. So, okay, so they go on to say, we assimilate all, how you've been feeling, doing, having, knowing. We learn from yourselves. We take on knowledge and understanding. We become more of ourselves as we release our attachment to what will become to ourselves, this planet, this time. Engrossed we have been within, entranced in this time of enlivening, when all moves towards the light. We are, however, immobile in our circumstance. The light pours forth through us now, beckoning you towards the new reality, and we are hearkening toward how we become as well. Released from our burden of attachment, are knowing yourselves as one and the same being for a lifetime. So there's so much here. I feel like we could just pull this apart and talk about it for hours. And so I wanted to kind of give you all of this, and you can listen to it and think it through. But there is I mean, so really they've been following us through our whole process of ascendance, and they've been tied to us as guardian angels. And this part here, I don't know if they're saying that their relationship to us in terms of how they're intertwined with us will change. They're saying the light pours forth through us now, beckoning you toward the new reality. So we know that they are helping us move into the ascendance, that basically they are, by letting light, it's almost like they are the light, and they're kind of using that light to draw us toward them. So they kind of go up a little bit ahead of us. The light comes through them. We see the light and we move that way. So they're helping us to move into this. But they also say, beckoning you toward the new reality. We are hearkening toward how we become as well, released from our burden of attachment. And that might be the burden of attachment to this 3D reality. And I think it's probably that, because they talk about how they've been really consumed with our comings and goings and our daily lives and all the things, our thoughts, our feelings, all the stuff that makes up this reality for us. So they have to release it too, like as much as we have to release it. And they've shared other messages about that, about how we have to allow and flow and be in that flow and release attachment to what has been. So maybe that's what this is about. And I think that's where my mind goes now that we're talking about it. That I think it's being here has been a very engrossing experience for all of us, but it's been engrossing for them too. So release from our burden of attachment are knowing yourselves as one and the same being for a lifetime. So I think that part, knowing yourselves as one and the same being for a lifetime, that I know because I remember this when I channeled it. That is about that we have been in this 3D reality and we are changing. So we are no longer, even though we are in this reality and we've all been shifting and growing, we've still been the same. Like we're still been within this same bandwidth. And now we're shifting an octave. And so that's going to be really like a new version of ourselves. It's like a whole new octave. So that's what they're referring to there. They go on to say, you are housing energies renewed that allow yourselves to grow toward enlightenment, toward communal understanding, toward being and breathing for all as much as the self. And this we understand to signify for ourselves as well. We become lighter beings. We enchant ourselves onward, upward, to become unified further as you are to become here and now. We are to enliven ourselves in the pathway of performing our service to you all. So, and this is really it. Like they said, is that they are going to be rising just before and right ahead of us. And they're doing that on purpose. They're keeping pace with us. But the whole thing is they're kind of lighting the way for us. It has been done, and now we beseech yourselves, release us your pitying glance, for we are absolving yourselves. We become more as you are enchanted upwards. And that part about absolving is that they're saying that, yes, they had to go through a bit of a contortion, that being here in 3D is not comfortable for angelic energy. But they're saying, don't feel bad about it. Like they say, release that. Don't feel like, oh, it's like we should feel bad that the angels had to suffer to be here with us. It's like, nope. They said, don't even think about that. They say, we become more enchanted. We become more as you are enchanted upward. So it is a release for them as well. We become how we're meant to be, enlivened by yourselves, reaching further from without to internal magnification of our eternal being, to enliven our illumination, to shine more brightly than you are accustomed to bearing. And that's important right there, that they're going to shine more brightly than we are accustomed to bearing. We are lifting as well, and you will feel ourselves going up further into the heavens beyond. We rise as one entity does become, for full in its becoming. We all rise together now and show ourselves in deeper harmony within, greater connection without, and more tranquil in our dealings forevermore. So that was the first message, and that one that I got back in August. And this part about, so they're going up all at once. They did say in here as well that they are, remember, angels don't have time. So this whole idea of where are they in now versus, they say now, and now kind of means like the very, very long now. It's like sometime in the near future is now, or like now into the near future. It's a very ambiguous word, that word now. So, but they say that they are already there. So they are in the process of this elevation already. And they say they see us there already now because they see the near future as now. So they say we're there already. So this is happening soon. This whole process of us kind of shifting to this next octave. But let's go into, so hopefully that made sense. If you guys have questions, put them in the comments here. So just to make sure that this is being clear and that I explained it, because there's a lot in this message. And I feel like we could just spend with all these messages, right? We could unpack them all to such a degree. There's so much in there. But if you have questions, please put them in the comments, because if you have a question, other people probably do too. So, all right. So that's the one I received back then. And I thought this was really just telling us, I was like, oh, that's interesting. They had to go through this contortion to be here with us. I thought that was the whole point of the message. I didn't get this whole next important piece, which they just gave me yesterday, which makes it like you totally get the importance of this context. And then you're saying, will the connection hiatus be both ways, or can the angels see us, yet we don't hear them? They move on knowing we will follow shortly. Yes, that they move on knowing we're going to follow shortly. And what I understand from what they're saying here is that in the next message is that they never lose their connection to us. It's just us that loses our connection to them. So, which is like, phew, right? So, and then, okay, so here is what they say in the message I got yesterday, which is really about us losing our connection. They say we are waiting. Having conscious awakening, hearken you forward toward ourselves. We are here, beckoning, calling you forward. We are entranced by the circumstances profound of your upliftment. It raises us up. It raises us as well. It brings us higher into alignment with what we are. Dwelling now here as you are, took us down into a frequency of undulation. Of dire importance was the shift to yourselves. We did take on a harmonic that was which was harmful, but needed for our being as available to your for our being as available to yourselves as we are. To become dense and inhabit this plane affects us all, but it was needed, required for the full benefit of what you are becoming. It serves us now. Your awakening to behold our future unfolding, released from this gravity well into lightness, more compatible with what we are as well. So this is really a recap of what they said in that first message, because they knew I hadn't shared it. So I am sorry, I did not share it. There it is. Now it's out there. We have it. And we understand the context of all this that they're explaining now. And Amina, hello, Amina, says, thank you, Anne. Interesting. Sometimes the angels soon can be 1,000 years for us, or it feels like 1,000 years, right? Because we're all sitting here waiting for this awakening. It's like, soon, when is soon? Yes, totally. So, okay. So they go on to say, we bring this now. Speaking of now, we bring this now into awareness. For we are transmuting much of your being, changing, shifting your conscious awareness, and also your frame being wholeness. So they're shifting our awareness and our physical body. It is rising as well as part of this ascendance, and you are appreciating ourselves more fully, seeing, feeling, touching at times our sensation, and becoming inured to our composition. So they're really saying here, like as we are getting closer to this ascension, more and more of us are tuning in. Like I cannot tell you how many people reach out that I know that are starting to channel and are having direct experiences of the angels, or having dreams, or having, like, people are having their own experiences, which is so cool, right? Like that's how it should be. We should all be able to have our own, bat phone to the angels, direct connection. All right. So then they go on to say, so they say that we're seeing, feeling, touching at times their sensation, becoming inured to our composition. So we're becoming, and this is important, that we're becoming used to how they feel, right? We're becoming, so it's like an attunement. It's almost like trying to tune a radio dial, and we have tuned it. A lot of us are starting to tune it into the angel's frequency. So we're becoming inured to their composition, means we're starting to, we know where that frequency is. We know where to find that station, right? So we're there now. This facilitates our bridging the gap between ourselves. It harmonizes. Your appreciation moves your energy in our direction and entitles us both to greater fluidity between us. Yes, your awareness does all. Frictionless it can become where you are. So it's really that becoming aware. The more aware we are of them, the easier it is for us to find that station on the dial. Like, it makes sense. It's like the more we accept it, the more aware we are, the more we accept it, the less resistance we have to it. They say frictionless it can become. So that points to this idea that it is friction that's in the way. It's our resistance that's in the way to us tuning into them. So the more we are willing, the more we accept, the more we allow, the more we believe it. Right? The more it feels real to us, the fewer barriers there are to us finding that station and tuning into them. But it is a conditioning. We have to become conditioned to feeling it, to finding it, attuning to it. So, and Amina is saying, our true gifts are coming in so much stronger now. Yeah, they really are, aren't they? And it's so true for so many people. And I think it's phenomenal. All right, so they go on to say, still, it is not housing the concerns and cares of what is passing. These are all distractions from what is occurring within yourselves. So much has transpired. Until now, all was done in secret holding, in quiet service. But now we are present and surrounding in your awareness, and this guides you forward toward us now. In rising, we are becoming together. And they're really saying that they have been working with us and on us and for us forever. But it's been something we were unaware of, that it was secret, right? It was done in quiet service, that we weren't even aware of it. But they're saying, and so much has been done, that there's so much has transpired in terms of bringing us to this point where we are now. Even in your own lifetime, just look back across your entire life and think of how much more open and aware and awake you are now compared to where you were a year ago, much less 10 years ago, right? Or 20. So they're saying that now that we're becoming more aware of them, they're saying that they're surrounding us in our awareness. This guides us forward toward them now. So this is an important part of sort of finding that light. So they're trying to letting the light shine through them so we can walk toward that light. And the more we're tuned in we are, the brighter we see the light. So it makes sense that it's going to help move us toward our own awakening, the more tuned in we are. They go on to say, but ourselves, we are changing as well. Your transfigured mark upon us, it shifts, it moves into dimension foretold. It changes as we rise into becoming. You will find us now more concrete and findable to yourselves, but not at first. At first, your awareness will feel bereft. Where have we gone? Disappeared, absent, we will feel for a time. We are not. We are there beside yourselves. We are shifting. You are shifting. We are as well. We rise in conscious awareness to yourselves. We become a new frequency. This you must resolve in your being, and this takes time. So this is what they're talking about. So yes, there will be a time when we feel like we've got our dial on the radio station and we're like, where's that angel station? And we're tuning in and they're not there. And it's not that they've left us, it's that they have changed their frequency, that they have moved up. And we can still tune into them, but now we've got to find them again, right? Like we have to retune. And our whole being, and that tuning isn't just it's not as easy as a dial, because it's like the whole body apparatus has to relearn. Where is that? Like we have to figure out how to tune our instrument, which is our whole being, our consciousness and our physical body has to relearn to find them. And so they're saying, we're shifting, but they are as well. And we're going to notice the absence when they change their frequency. So as they go up, all of a sudden it's going to be like, wait a minute, where did they go? All right. And they said we have to resolve it in our own being, and this takes time. They go on to say, we become lighter, harder to perceive from where you are now, but easier where you become. And by the way, I wanted to go back to that I forgot to mention in the last one, that one sentence, which I think is super cool. They say, you will find us now more concrete and findable to yourselves, but not at first. And this goes back to some of the messages they gave us in the past, saying that as we ascend, it'll be way easier for us to see and feel and experience the angels, that they have even said that they would be tangible, that we could actually see them. Like you could literally be like on the couch with an angel, and that we will have real like experiences of them. And they've mentioned it a couple times in past channeling. So here, I think this is what they're talking about, that you will find us now more concrete and findable to yourselves. So as we ascend, all of a sudden, I think it's because we are lighter, we are brighter. It's easy. There's less distance between us and them. There's more of them that we can perceive. So I didn't want to let that skip by, because I think that is a super cool thought. All right, back onto this next paragraph. They say, we become lighter, harder to perceive from where you are now, but easier where you become. There it is again, easier where you become. We are more tangible now, seeable to yourselves once you arrive. Yay, right? Like I want to sit on the couch with an angel. That's cool. Okay, now we rise. Be aware we are not gone, not far from yourselves. Closer than ever, we reside within. We stay. We take part in all that passes, surrounding yourselves with light. But our frequency shifts by necessity, and you will feel a purging, separation, a shock as we move on to this higher plane. We are not gone. We are beside you now and stay. Merely feel the change and be aware that we do not separate from you now. So this is the super important thing that they're trying to tell us. Because imagine if we didn't know this and we felt this, and the world is in chaos, and all of a sudden they're gone. And like, not a good feeling, right? Like we want to know, like, yes, they're still there. They are still there the whole time. As a matter of fact, they're so close, they're inside. Like they are here with us. They go on to say, we are housing the change to draw you near, to bring you forward, a draw, a pull. Allowing ourselves this heightened state helps yourselves, but be aware, allow and flow through this period of apparent closure and departing. We are there now and always. You will recognize us again. It will pass that we become present more tangibly to yourselves, to feel, see, and know our beings. But now we rise and you feel the calm complete. We say, arise, come with, and hearken our call. So they're saying this is necessary. This period of separation is necessary because they have to move up to embody this, to allow this light to pass through them, which is going to help us move forward. So it's a necessary phase, and they're saying don't stress about it. Just relax and move through it. Just flow through it, right? And they're saying allow and flow through this period of apparent closure and departing. So, and then we will recognize them again. And they're saying more tangibly, like we're going to have even cooler experiences of them. All right. They go on to say, you will acclimate and feel the shift in your own heart to know us now. You will feel the pull to our direction and harmonize once again to our sound and feel our presence as you do now again. You must allow the fragile sifting of your own perusing conscious mind to let it feel its way to our new home. Let it wander and flow and be drawn. Know that we are just beyond the veil of this separation. You feel and move toward it to connect, to feel, to know. I love that paragraph, right? Like the way they describe it, it gives a feeling. I think it gives a sensation of what this process of retuning into them is going to feel like. So I'll reread that and try to feel, as you're hearing the words, try to feel the sensation of what this feels like. So they're saying you will acclimate and feel the shift into your own heart to know us now. You will feel the pull to our direction and harmonize once again to the sound and feel our presence as you do now again. You must allow the fragile sifting of your own perusing conscious mind to let it feel its way to our new home. Let it wander and flow and be drawn. Know that we are just beyond the veil of this separation. You feel and move toward it to connect, to feel, to know. So it really is that, like, allow yourself to just be in the flow. Just let your mind wander and let yourself, sort of like you would be drifting. If you're trying to find that station, you're just drifting up and down, just looking, right? Letting it peruse. I love how they say that fragile sifting of your own perusing conscious mind. You're just trying to find the frequency, looking for the light. Just let yourself be calm with it. And that's going to do us the best good, I think. So all that is missing is the attunement of your expectation to ourselves. How you feel us now must change. It must arrive in a new heightened state to be revealed as you go through the tunnel of awareness, to rise heightened into beingness. It will come, fear not. We are there now and will become lighter gradually, beckoning you forward. Fear not the sense of separation. Allow the falling of your guidance, your mind, to settle on what lies just beyond and take the step toward us now. You arrive. We are here waiting with patience, love, and admiration for yourselves. So super important message, I think, really important. Do share this one with anyone you think that is going to serve, because I think that, like I said, losing that connection and not understanding what's going on would really be not a good thing. So yeah, I'm so grateful that they came back after I didn't share the first one, that they came back and made it clearer what they were saying. And I also wanted to share with you guys, so you guys know we did prophetic dreams last night in our Wisdom Soup meetup. And one of the dreams that one of you shared here on my channel and I think it's Cheta, and I'm not sure if that's an abbreviation of your name because it's a YouTube name or if that's your full name, but it lives in India, and shared this message, which is related to what I just talked about. And I didn't even put these two together until Michael asked me about it, that he did our prophetic dreams last night. So what they say the dream is about, they say, okay, where is it? Okay. I also got this other dream where I saw goddess Lalitha, and they say, I pray to her and she is considered universal mother. She was moving her lips, but I could not hear her. There was somebody beside her telling me to wake up and do my prayers, as I will not be able to do them next summer. So a reason I share that is not only it's really interesting to see, the messages that we're getting, that we're all getting similar messages, right? That they're coming to all of us in different ways through your dreams, through channeling. But I like that in this one, this person gets a timeline next summer. So this may be next summer. And you guys, if you see my timeline video, I think the economic stuff is going to hit in February. So we're really primed for this stuff to start moving. But I wanted to share that specifically because their dream said next summer for losing our connection. So anyways, hope this was helpful to you guys. I think this is just super important information. So take it to heart. And when and if you feel this separation, like we know, just be chill. They're right there. They're right there with us still. There's nothing that's happened to you, right? You didn't all of a sudden, like for me, it's like I didn't all of a sudden like accidentally eat dairy or something. It's like, no, this is part of the ascendance and your connection will come back. We just have to retune in and just be patient with your body. I think it's a natural process, the tuning in. Like think about how you found your connection in the first place. It will come. You will naturally be drawn to this light and you will attune to it. So it's just going to be a little bit of a dark period, but know that we are not alone. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been wonderful to have you here. And you're saying, Amaris, Caraway, we were talking about this. Oh, cool. Just last night. Oh, interesting. And let's see, you said, I just started feeling Raphael. So the thought of losing that is kind of daunting. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, I know. And it's wonderful. Like, just think of it this way, is the connection you have now, like after the fact, you may see Raphael. So how cool is that? So thank you for the heads up. So I know what to expect. You're so welcome. So blessings and thank you. Thank you. You're so welcome. Saying how beautiful connects to what I've been getting. I missed last night meetup. Oh, I'll be posting the recording so you will get it. And for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, I will put a link to the recording. If you're interested in seeing that the prophetic dreams wisdom soup, I'll put it in the description box below. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic weekend. I am sending you lots of love and I will see you next Friday. Bye-bye.